Here we go, another Tarun Shetty vlog. Today we are just driving to Dunkin Donuts, trying to get out of the house. Just get out of the house, that's it. Are people still on this YouTube channel? I don't even know, but let's take this journey together. But Dunkin Donuts is probably one of my favorite places. For any old school fans, they would know, like, I'm from New Hampshire, and whenever I was in New Hampshire, I would just go to Dunkin Donuts. It's just a familiar place. No judgments, because everyone's like out of shape and stuff. But so I found the Dunkin Donuts near me. It's like 15 minutes away maybe. But I go there maybe like twice a week just to break up the monotony. Anyways, I've been trying to be busy. I've been trying to keep active. I hope whoever's watching this, you're active with your goals. Oh, here's something that happened. I think I mentioned that I made this video about working at UTA, this agency in Los Angeles. It's on my YouTube channel. So I get hit up like 3 times a week at least by people who, so the video is about me like working there as an assistant and like not wanting to be an assistant or working on the business side of entertainment, right? So people reach out to me, like mostly artists, and they want to get coffee or whatever, or phone calls. And at first, or emails, right? And at first I was like, oh, this is cool. People are like reaching out to me. And I've got this quote, which I love quotes, by the way. And I put up this quote once: be the person that you wish you had when you were younger. So trying to help people, I'm all for. I will try to help whoever. And I was really trying to help whoever reached out to me. I'd like jump on the phone with them, emails. And then I was like, man, this is exhausting. Like, 1, I'm not your manager. 2, I realized people kind of saw me as like a cautionary tale. Like, they were like, I don't want to be like this guy. I want to avoid every pitfall. And I was like kind of annoyed by it, because people would just reach out to me and then squeeze me for whatever information I had, and then it's like, never hear from them again. Nor was I expecting to be friends with anybody, but I was like, oh, this is Hollywood, where it's just everyone's kind of egocentric, and that's how the business is. So this one guy reached out to me, and I mentioned this cool guy, Asian dude. He's like on a TV show, and he watched the video, and he actually like sent me money, like $75 to my email. I didn't even ask for money, right? And at that point, I was like, I'm done talking to people. I'm not gonna, you watch the video if you want, but I'm done talking. Nobody gets my advice anymore. Just watch my vlog if you want. You can pull whatever. So he sent me money, and I was like, this guy is really just adamant. And so I refunded the money, and I was like, all right, man, let's talk. And I talked for like an hour with this dude. And he's like, dude, you have a service. He's very good at business. And he was like, you have a service. You should start charging for your advice. So I put that in the email, or in the video, right in the bottom. It says, hey, if you want to talk to me, I'll set up a rate. And I was like, that's fair. It's a business. Like, look, I've spent 20 plus years in the business. Why not, right? So these past like couple of weeks, I still get responses, but like nobody ever like mentions any like compensation. They're just like, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? And I'm just like, man, it's just the audacity of like, nobody gives a shit. Like, you can set any money you want, but everybody wants free information, free stuff. And I realized, I was like, look, I'm not Mother Teresa here. I don't have to help the world. That's something which I've learned, and it's okay to say no, right? I don't have to feel bad about it. Like, sometimes my mom says this to me, like I'm too nice, and I'm learning now. I'm like, no, I don't have to help you. I don't have to help anybody. Of course, I do help people from time to time if I think they're worth it. But generally, I'm staying the course. So I was struggling with that the past week, because a bunch of people hit me up, and I just said no to all of them. I was like, hey, I'm sorry, I can't help you. Good luck. Anyways, but I also think everyone's on their own journey, right? Like, even if you don't get advice from me, doesn't mean you're not going to make it in showbiz, right? You're going to be on your own journey. Whatever I tell you anyways is just my experience. And a friend of mine who knows Fred Stoller's like this actor, and he said the same thing. People would reach out to him as like because he's like older, and he like never really popped, but he's been in a bunch of shit. And Fred Stoller was like, people reach out to me like I'm a cautionary tale, and I thought about it myself, and I actually did this when I was 26, when I like wanted to make movies. I reached out, I found the guy who made Ghostbusters, not Harold Ramis, some producer guy who made Ghostbusters, who I tracked down was selling paintings in San Diego, totally out of the business. And I reached out to him and I was like, hey man, I saw you've produced movies and you paint now and it's really cool. I will drive down there. Can I get coffee with you? And he wrote back, hey, sorry, I don't work on that side of the business. Good luck or something. And I was like, oh, that's abrupt, but I didn't think anything of it. Now I get it. I get it. Obviously, like, this guy was a successful producer, but he must get hit up so many times from people just like looking for any shortcut. And that's pretty much, Hollywood. Like, Hollywood people are looking. People are hungry. I don't think people understand how hungry people are in the business, especially this business, because it's so arbitrary and haphazard, that people will do anything it takes to make it. And that's gleaming. I'm not the only person. I'm sure most of these people who reach out to me reach out to like 1,000 other people. Another thing is I'm trying to take steps forward. I thought a lot about my last vlog, and I was like, insurance jobs, I can sell cars again. Well, one, I can't really leave home right now. It's really hard for me to leave the house. So one thing which I do have is I've been a model, if you can believe this. I've been a print model for like 20 plus years. Even though I don't look it right now, I do have like a good body of work behind me. So I just started reaching out to agents, and literally 2 agents got back to me in like under an hour, like 2 of the top agencies. And sometimes I discount everything I've done, and that's a problem that I have. And I hope people who watch this, like, don't discount your skills. Like, if you spend so much time, it's like that scene in Taken. I've spent X amount of time acquiring these skills, or everyone picks up the phone. Same, like, I forget sometimes, just because it's showbiz, that I have like a body of work behind me. Like, I know how to do stuff. I know how to hustle. And, I reached out to some agents, and they got back to me. Now, whether they do a good job or not, I don't know. I don't know what the scene is like out here. But I had to make that first move. I had to email. I had to get my stuff. I had to like make a cold call, make a cold email, whatever that is. There's always this element of moving forward, which you have to do. Nobody's gonna find you, and it's easy to fall into that, where you're just like, well, woe was me. So I was happy. I mean, it's honestly a pain in the ass to do this shit. People see the actors on TV, but they don't ever see all the auditions that go behind the scenes. Being an actor is probably one of the biggest mindfucks you could experience. Like, you're just constantly auditioning. You're trying to get work. You're trying to get in front of casting directors. You try to memorize these pages off book and then put yourself into, and then learning how to act is a whole other thing. Forget about the auditions. Learning how to act is very difficult. Like, I've spent years, go watch my stuff, Desi OC, Bobby Khan, making my own videos, trying to learn how to act, and it's tough. Like, I'm not even like amazing, I'm decent, but that on its own was a process. So just imagine that times, like, every audition, every job you see on TV, there's like 100 actors going for that same part. It's kind of ridiculous, unless it's one of the leads. Sometimes they have like these direct bookings where they just reach out directly to these stars. So the acting game is just brutal. And somebody told me, they were like, hey, you should reach out to like these Atlanta agencies because you can start working. I was like, you know what, that's a whole other thing. Print modeling is a lot different than acting, theatrical acting. It's never been my dream to be an actor. It's my dream to create my own stuff and be an actor, but never to just like read lines like a puppet. Like, who wants that? It's boring. Sorry, actors. If you want to be an actor, Godspeed. I'm trying to figure out how to do stand-up in Tampa again. I gotta leave the house and find another mic. Leaving the house, here's a story for comedians. I used to see a lot of comedians when I was a door guy at this club called the Boston Comedy Club, and I talked to Jim Gaffigan, and he came in once when he wasn't famous, and he was like, dude, if I had to do stand-up, I would never even leave the house. That's what he told me. And I kind of laughed at it, but I understand it. Like, stand-up comedy makes you get out of the house, talk to people who you would never even have conversations with. Stand-up comedy makes you interact with, like, these degenerate bookers, and just, it's a hustle. Like, just stand-up comedy, again, is like, 20 minutes out of the day? Maybe 10 minutes, 40 minutes if you're a headliner. But for the most part, you're waiting around, you're talking to people. You have to be, and it's weird because stand-up comics are the most, like, antisocial people. Like, they're freaks. Most of them are. So to put these people in this group of, these social settings where they have to interact and network, it's kind of hilarious. I'm not saying I'm some master networker. In fact, I'm pretty terrible. I wish I was great at networking. My God. I think everybody who I know is famous, I don't even talk to anymore. I think I was like, fuck them. I'm like, screw them. I mean, a lot of people have... Let me just say this. Your true colors emerge when you have lots of money and fame. People can put on a good facade, but when they blow up, true colors, man. Whoever you like in life, go out to eat with them and watch how they talk to the waiter. I think that's a good test of personality. If they treat the waiter like shit, then they're probably dicks. So, without getting into details, I've written 3 drafts of this movie script for this project I'm doing in Hollywood, and every time I have to write a new draft, I question what the fuck I'm doing. I'm like, I cannot do this. I cannot feasibly sit down and write this script again. And these doubts just rise like a phoenix. It's insane. I don't know how many writers watch this, but the writing thing is like so hard and difficult. I've never met a writer. Maybe there are writers out there. I don't talk to many writers. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But writing is so hard for me. And I remember this guy named Warren Hutchison, who I met. He's a big TV writer, was a big TV writer, whatever. And I remember I was sitting down with him, and not to name drop, but I was sitting down with him with like Tisha Campbell from Martin and some other like famous black chicks, and he was writing their show, right? Like some show which never aired. And they were like, Warren, you're so talented. It's so easy for you to write. And he's like, whoa. This is not easy for me. He's like, for me to even do this pilot is really hard. And I thought about that because I wasn't even writing. I was like helping produce it on the TV side. And I was like thinking, oh, I want to be a writer, and it's hard for me. It's really hard whenever I write. And to hear Warren Hutchison say that was pretty, a seminal moment. Hold on. Hey, how's it going? Could I please get a small iced coffee, cream and sugar?
Okay.
That's it.
It's gonna be $2.43.
Excellent, thank you. That was the excitement of me ordering coffee at Dunkin Donuts. How many people just unsubscribed from this channel? I used to think stand-up comedians were the most realist, raw people. Like, if you watched like an interview with like a stand-up comedian, you saw them in their truest form, while everyone else in society has these, false guises they put on and layers. But comics are the true essences. Totally wrong. I mean, there are some comics like that, but when I watch comics, sometimes they put on like these layers, and they try to be on and put on their comic persona to be funny, and it drives me crazy because I don't want to watch that shit. Like, I know I like comedy, but I don't like watching people try to be funny all the time. Sometimes I like real moments. But these authors, man, like I started watching like David Foster Wallace, who's like an author, or Margaret Atwood, and these people have no pretensions. Like, and they always say like writing for them is really difficult. Meanwhile, a lot of comedians, like I think Sinbad, I watched an interview with Sinbad once. He's like, oh yeah, I never bombed ever. Like, comics are in their own world, but something about like these authors which I love and just gravitate towards. Not saying I'm some amazing writer, but I think that authenticity, it's huge, especially just talking to people, like being real. And I really think that's why reality TV got big, even though a lot of it's scripted and a lot of it's fake. People kind of want to see what else is there beyond these lines, right? Beyond these stories, like who's this person? And, you know, I think doing this vlog really helped me, or doing this channel really helped me book that reality show last year, because a lot of the casting was just me talking to a casting director, and I was just real, you know? In fact, the one job which I got hired for, this is a true story for anybody who wants to get a job, like, they hired me to be this digital manager, right, at this agency or management company. And they brought me in. They were like, "What do you know about digital?" And I was like, "Nothing." I didn't give a fuck. I was like, "I don't know anything about digital." Like, I worked in talent and TV development, but I was like, "I know nothing about digital." And I left, and I was like, "Well, I didn't get that job because I didn't really care." But the guy was so like just happy that I was honest and that I wasn't like the other people trying to bullshit him, that he hired me. And I lasted like 8 months of that job. I mean, they got rid of my position, but it was like, man, every job that I've gone after where I like tried to like be polished and like did all this research and blah, 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 I'm always like down to the final round and they don't hire me. But the one job where I'm just like, yeah, this is what, I don't know shit about your company or about what to do. But I did say I work very hard and my track record proves it. You know, look at my references, look at my track record. Like, I will bust my ass, and I got hired from that. Even though I'm not like some huge influencer on this channel, let me at least be real, 100%. Like, there's nothing I won't say, you know, for better or worse. And I think that's why people reach out to me, because they were like, well, at least one guy will keep it real. Like, there's this thing called Clubhouse right now. I think it's the dumbest thing ever. I really do. I'm not trying to be bitter about it, but like, I jumped on it because I have a couple of friends who were like executives and they were on it. And I just thought it was like all egos. Like, people just want to hear themselves. Like, you know, those 80s party lines? And like, maybe it'll last. Maybe I'm just totally off, but I don't see any value in this. I just think it's like people talking over each other, or like who the fuck wants to hear these people talk about nonsense? Like, I don't know. It wasn't for me. Like, when I jumped on this like Hollywood Clubhouse room, it was like these execs trying to be like actors, you know, like just spouting out their knowledge, and it was very generic knowledge, which you can really find out anywhere. But, you know, a lot of just people wanting to break in the business, like kissing their ass. It was kind of disgusting. This is how I see the world, people. Can you imagine being me for like 2 minutes? It's a very disturbing place. So when I signed up with those agencies here, I called one of my modeling friends who I've known for like 20 plus years. And I don't really have a lot of friends, I'll be real with you. Like, I have a lot of acquaintances, or I did, but I did this thing years ago where I just stopped calling all my friends and I just want to see who would call me back. And I called this girl who's been a model for like, I've known her since I was like 20, and she's like a professional model, and I just asked her for her advice, and she was like, hey, you know, you can always call me for whatever you need, you know, if you want to check in with me and talk, because I don't really talk. And she's married, I'm not hitting on her, she's married, she has a kid. And I forget, like, that's my biggest problem with myself, is people are good. Like, even in this vlog, I'm trashing people and disparaging Hollywood, but there are good people out there. It's just, you have to sift through them to find the good ones. I went for a walk yesterday. I go to the gym like twice. I'm so old, like my legs hurt, like my body is just cannot take it, so I have to like walk and space out the days when I work out. And I'm walking, and this lady pulls up next to me, and she's like, hey, how are you? What are you doing here? Like, she was like clearly trying to figure out who I was, because this is a 55 and up community here. She must have been like, who's this? And I don't wear my glasses either, so probably I look like this kid with a shaved head, like walking around casing the houses. And I forget, like, you know, this is society we live in. People are very suspicious. And I was expecting her to pull a gun on me and just shoot me. And whenever that happens, I'm like, hi, how are you? Put on a big smile. How are you? Oh, I live right down, my dad's a doctor, da da da. I try to just turn on the middle class status thing and just try to seem as less threatening as possible. She let me go. She told me her life story. She's like, oh yeah, I lived here with my husband and he died. And I was like, I felt bad for her. I was like, you know what? This girl just needs a friend. Like, she's driving around. Maybe it's looking for people to talk to. Remember when you can just drive? Well, I don't remember this either, but I guess you could just hitchhike across America and be perfectly safe. That was the thing to do. You can just hitchhike across America. You weren't going to get kidnapped or shot at. Like, there was a time in history when life was just simple. No iPhones. So if you got kidnapped, you couldn't really text anybody to come save you. But that was life at one point. Can you imagine that? And now, if you go jogging after 7 o'clock, you might get a bullet in the back of your head. Well, I'm home. Thanks for joining me. Have a great weekend. See you later. Bye.